Hi everybody, welcome to this month's 80/20 with Natalie. So I'm going to be working with the amazing Coffee and Friends collection from Echo Park, and I'm going to cheat just a smidge because these 3 floral papers, I want to fussy cut them, and then my embellishment that I want to try to use up today is going to be sequins. So I fussy cut all of those flowers, didn't make you watch me do that. And now I have 2 of the pattern papers from the collection, and I'm going to take an oldie but a goodie tool, and that is my Creative Memories circle cutter. I have this really large circle pattern that I really like. This is probably my most used circle pattern, and the reason that I still keep all of these circles and stuff in my stash. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a nice large circle. Once I have my circle cut, I'm going to use my distress tool to rough up the edges. And then I'm going to ink the edges up using Distress Oxide in Vintage Photo. Next, I'm going to grab my Big Mama roll of foam tape, and I'm going to pop up that entire circle and then position it into the middle of my pattern paper background. I'm positioning my photo so that my niece is kind of looking into the page, and then I matted my photo using another pattern from this collection, like a green color. So I'm just going to kind of position my picture here and get my picture stuck down. Next, I'm going to play with my title. So I loved these thickers. These phrase thickers, I love how they set off the colors in this collection. So I knew I wanted to try to use some of them. Plus, I am on a use up the thickers rampage because I'd kind of like to buy more soon. So I am trying to empty my storage container I used to store my thickers in. Okay, so after a lot of kind of fidgeting with this title, I settle on The Magic of Every Day, and I'm going to nestle in some of my very favorite Grove foam thickers into the title here. I'm also going to pop up the Y at the end of every day using some foam tape, and you'll see why as we continue creating this layout. So I'm starting with this green and white floral paper that I fussy cut, and I'm going to create kind of like a base wreath that tucks underneath my pattern paper. So my thoughts behind this, I started out knowing that I really wanted to use a lot of sequins, and then I also found this package of little clear acrylic hearts, and so I decided I really wanted to use both of those, and I wanted to use a lot of them. So when I started to think about what kind of layout I could create using a lot of sequins and those little acrylic hearts, the first thing I thought of was a wreath. This layout has kind of been in my head all month long, and so I just decided to go for it. I know there's a lot of paper on it, but I think at the end of the day, even though the sequins are very small, and so are the acrylic hearts, I think there's more sequins and acrylic hearts than there are fussy cut flowers. So I definitely think we hit the 80/20 thing here, maybe. So I'm creating just this wreath with all of these flowers. I really, really wanted to create a couple of layouts with this collection that had nothing to do with coffee, because I feel like this collection is beautiful and gorgeous, and there is so many things you can do with it that you don't need to document coffee for. Just the floral patterns themselves are stunning. I am in love with these flowers. So I'm going to try to get another couple layouts done using these colors and the flowers and such that has absolutely not a thing to do with coffee. So I'm just going to go around. I kind of tucked all of those white flowers under and around my photo a little bit, and now I'm just going to go through and glue them all down, use my tape runner, glue them all down just like this. So a lot of this layout is a lot of little bit of busy work. So my video might not be too long once I take all the busy work out, but once I have this initial layer of white flowers, I'm just going to go through and use my tape runner and tape them all down. Now I'm going to add a layer of these peachy pink flowers. I'm starting with my big clusters of these flowers, kind of deciding where they can nestle in. These do not have to be fussy cut flowers. That outer wreath could be stickers. If you have a white background, that outer wreath could be all clear stickers. They can be floral die cuts. If you have a lot of them you want to use up, they could be die cuts of just about anything. So I think a wreath layout is a really great way to use up a lot of embellishments. So I'm going through, I'm deciding where I can kind of nestle in and use these larger clusters. I'm starting with the large clusters because I want to do something special with the next smaller flowers. So when I got to the smaller peach flowers, what I did was I popped those smaller peach flowers up on Pop Dots and or foam tape, whatever dimensional adhesive is your favorite. I like my foam tape. And the Distress Oxide ink, I'm going to give those flowers, just those flowers, an inked edge. So I'm inking the edge, I'm adding some foam adhesive to the back, and then I'm going to sprinkle those kind of all around my wreath too. Once I have all of those individual flowers down, I'm just going to use these fussy cut leaves to kind of fill in different places that I feel we need a little more green. So I'm just kind of filling the wreath out, so to speak. We have our main base, we have our pretty peach flowers. Now we just need a little bit of greenery to kind of emphasize that circle design. So I'm using the clear Sparkling Hearts acrylics from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I'm using Graham's Afghan sequin mix. And I chose these two for a very specific reason. So the Sparkling Hearts are clear acrylic. They're going to dry clear, and they're just going to give a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of something extra to the layout. The sequins, there is the sequin mix has that peachy color in it, but then it also has all these kind of dark, bolder colors. And so I'm going to use those sequins in clusters to actually add a bit of a bright, bolder, deeper shade to my wreath. Starting with these clear acrylic hearts because I wanted to really get the placement of those in certain areas. And then when I get to the sequins, I am all in. So I am just adding lots of clusters of sequins all around this wreath. I'm adding them in groups of 3. I'm adding the smaller ones as accents to the hearts. I'm going to add some into the middle section of my layout. There is no wrong way to do this. But by adding this specific mix, I'm adding a pop of deep, rich color that really sets off my niece's dress and also sets off my wreath really well. And I used a ton of sequins on this wreath. I just kept gluing and sticking with my crystal katana, gluing and sticking. And so this is a really great way. A wreath is a great way to use up embellishments. And this specific take on it, where you're kind of taking that reshape and popping it up and then tucking stuff underneath, is a really great, fun design idea. So once I have all of my sequins down and I feel like I've really filled that wreath up with gorgeous, gorgeous color, I'm going to call this one done. Be sure to check out Natalie's YouTube channel. She has another beautiful layout for you today. And I hope you will give this beautiful wreath layout and technique a try. Have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. I probably won't be back till Monday, but I will see you all again then. Bye.